So, what do you guys believe killed the mid-budget movie? Well, we're going to talk about that today because there's this article that came out from director Steven Soderbergh, who directed Black Bag, which came out very recently. And I want to talk to you guys about, the mid-budget movie, seeing as how these days it feels like everything is big-budget slop or low-budget horror. I want to ask you guys, do you go to the theaters? What type of movies do you guys go see? And if you do, what is it that has killed the mid-budget movie? Lately it's like these are the movies in the spy genre, these are the movies in the medium budget action genre, which is really my bag. And this article from, I think it was The Independent, and this quote from Steven Soderbergh kind of breaks it down. He was the director of Black Bag, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because there have been two mid-budget action spy genre movies that are like 110% in my wheelhouse that I should have been like excited to go see. And for both of them, I just managed to talk myself out of it. And I posed this question on X to see what people said. And I think a lot of people ended up falling in the same camp as me. So first I want to read this quote from director Steven Soderbergh, and I want to label what I think mid-budget movie is. And for the sake and for the purposes of this discussion, I think $30 to $60 million for a movie. Very, very high budget for a normal person, you or I, but mid-budget for Hollywood. So after Black Bag didn't do as well as they hoped, director Steven Soderbergh gave this quote. So this is what he says, and I'll try not to screw this up. This is the kind of film I made my career on, and if a mid-budget, star-driven movie can't seem to get people over the age of 25 years old to come out to the theaters, if that's truly a dead zone, then that's not a good thing for the movies. What's going to happen to the person behind me who wants to make this kind of film? I know for a fact, having talked to somebody who works at another studio, that the Monday after Black Bag opened, the conversation in the morning meeting was, quote, "What does this mean when you can't get a movie like this to perform?" And that's frustrating because everyone at Focus Features, which is the film's distributor, has assured me that ultimately Black Bag will be fine and will turn a profit. But the bottom line is that we need to figure out a way to cultivate this audience for movies that are in this mid-range, that aren't fantasy spectacles or low-budget horrors or horror films. They're movies for grown-ups, and those can't just go away. And on its face, I agree with him 110%. These are the type of movies that I really, really love. The problem is, if I'm going to give away the bag too early, is that movies like this, much like mid-budget or low-budget romantic comedy, are now seen as the domain of the streaming services, and oftentimes they're not even mid-budget. What's funny is one of my favorite movies from either last year or the year before was The Killer, starring Michael Fassbender, who oddly enough was in Black Bag as well. And I went to look up the budget for that movie just recently, just thinking I wanted to kind of draw some notes for comparison for this coverage. It cost $175 million to make and went straight to Netflix. And that was absolutely shocking to me, given the fact that the movie looks beautiful. The movie's shot beautiful. It's fantastic, but it didn't look like it cost $175 million to make. It was an absolutely bloated budget. Now, I don't know if some of that might have to do with shooting during COVID protocols or things like that, but I posed the question. I said, why did Black Bag flop? Why did The Amateur do so poorly? I have come around on The Amateur, which I think is doing better than I initially gave it credit for, but this is the other stuff that came up in this discussion. So the budget for Black Bag was $50 to 60 million, so it's right on that edge of mid-budget film. The budget for The Amateur was $60 million. And the thing was, for its total box office gross, Black Bag has earned like $36.5 million. Well, The Amateur has made like $64 million, and that came out later, so that one's on a much better track record than the other ones. But there was also The Alto Nights. That was the one with Robert De Niro, and I think that cost $45 or $50 million to make, and that, I believe that one only made like $10 million at the box office. So I asked the question on X. I said, why do you guys think that the mid-budget movies have failed? And I got a whole ton of responses. So I think the number one thing that connects all of this is streaming. So it's streaming with the combination of very, very, very short theatrical windows. Given COVID, they've essentially just trained people to not go to the theaters. When you look at that mid-budget film, the one that doesn't scream that it needs to be seen on the biggest screen possible, they've trained people to just be like, look, I'll wait for it to go to streaming. Like back in the day when the theatrical window was at least 90 days, then you had a whole bunch of time where it was sent to pay VOD and then DVD, then you could get it at home. But now movies are coming out just a couple of weeks after their release on streaming services, not even necessarily pay to watch. So what do you do when people are trained that they don't need to go initially? Because remember, the big budget stuff, those are the ones where it feels like you have to show up opening weekend, right? You have to show up right away because you don't want to miss out on the discussion surrounding the film. So what do you do in that respect? Because a lot of people believe that the quality has dropped. That's another one that was a very big answer that people were giving. They're like, look, movies these days aren't what they used to be. And I think that hurts them most because the lack of confidence in the movies that Hollywood is putting out is combined with the way that movie tickets are bought now has kind of destroyed walk-up traffic. So have you ever seen those posters? It's like, this was what a movie theater looked like in 1992. And it's like 5 movies you've heard of or 5 movies that are huge parts of pop culture all came out at the same time. There was a time where you didn't buy your tickets for a movie online. You bought your tickets in person. And if you went there and the seats were full up for the movie you went to see, you just looked up on the board and you got tickets for the next movie there. And back in the day, people had a little bit more faith that whatever they went to see in Hollywood, whatever movie they went to see that Hollywood is putting out, they were going to get their money's worth. And that's the way it was. It's not like that anymore. On top of the fact that it's just so damn expensive to go to the theaters. I mean, I've literally, I've taken to, I don't go see movies on Thursday anymore unless it's one that we're going to review here on the channel. If I'm going to see a movie, I get those tickets for Tuesday showings when the tickets are $7. It's cheaper to go on a Tuesday, so it better be a movie that you're interested in seeing and you don't really care about spoilers because you're waiting a full opening weekend to go and see it. So that's how I prefer to do it. It's just cheaper given the fact that with concessions and everything else, it's just so damn expensive to go to the theaters. And people in general have a lack of disposable income that they would have had back in the day because, you know, with inflation and the way things are going for everybody, people just don't have the money for it. And the other big one, I think, you know, outside of the going to streaming too quickly, there's no more 90-day theatrical windows, it's too expensive, all that stuff, is the number one answer that I got on top of all of that was I didn't even know these movies existed. So the problem was back in the day, everyone just watched regular television, and on regular television, you saw the ads for the movies. First of all, now everybody's attention has been decentralized to tons of different places. So for these mid-budget movies that don't get the marketing budgets that the other ones do, people don't know they exist. There's no promotion for Black Bag or for The Amateur. I saw a couple of previews for The Amateur, and I saw images like picture images of Black Bag on like the IMDb website. But let's face it, you know, I'm not the target audience. The regular frequenter of the IMDb website isn't the one that they're marketing these movies to. They want to get regular people to come out and see it. So there's no confidence in the theaters anymore, especially when you consider the fact that it costs a fortune to go to the movies. And that seems to be what most of these people are saying: mid-budget, mid-promotion. Streaming tickets, streaming and ticket prices, $15 and $20 popcorn and pop. It's a fortune. And the other one that's coming out, which I actually am going to go see opening weekend, the one that I'm actually excited about is coming up, is going to see The Accountant 2, which I was actually really surprised about. A lot of people, I posed the question before, because I really liked the first Accountant movie. I didn't think that it needed a sequel, but I'll pretty much take anything with Jon Bernthal in it, which is funny considering he's also in The Amateur, I believe. Budget was about $40 million, and it's looking to make about $40 million on its opening weekend. But even that one, guys, that is a sequel to something else. So if the only ones that are really going to bring in the money are the sequels, it may be mid-budget, but it's still sequel slop, which is the joke that I always make. Guys, let me know down below, what reasons do you guys believe that the mid-budget movie has just disappeared in Hollywood. I would be interested to see what you say. What is your favorite mid-budget movie? Remember, I'm saying like 30 to 60 million. You can drop that for inflation if it's an older movie down below. But why are people not showing up to theaters unless it's either big budget slop or low budget horror? Let me know down below. More videos coming soon. Later, guys. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.